Hello, everyone. My name is Stephen Kennedy. Today I am presenting part one of my first hike, a structural vulnerability scanning exercise against my Kioptrix1 virtual machine using my Kali Linux VM. The bottom of the slide shows the very first scan. A subnet while host discovery sweep using NMAP against 192.168.56.0 over 24. Full live host came back. The machine at 192.168.56.109 is my Kioptrix1 machine. The ports are 22, 80, 111, 139, 443, and 32768 are already visible. That one sweep told us we are dealing with SSH, a web server, SMB file sharing, and RPC services. Substantial attack surface, and we have not run a single target scan yet. All scanning was performed on an isolated VirtualBox host owned network. Before we look at any scan output, it is worth understanding the methodology. Footprinting and enumeration are not the same. Footprinting is passive. You are confirming basic facts without sending anything unusual. The subnet suite is footprinting. We confirmed the target existed and got a rough port picture. Enumeration is active. You are now querying each service specifically, pulling version numbers, reading protocols, handshake, extracting configuration data. Every targeted NMAP scan in this lab is enumeration. The reason we do these in order is that exploitation without solid evidence base to miss vulnerabilities. The flaw hypothesis methodology requires this foundation. You cannot form a good hypothesis without good data. The first required scan is NMAP-O, OS fingerprinting. The full output is on the right side of the slide. NMAP sent a series of careful crafted probe package and analyzed the responses. TTL values, TCP window sizes, and how the stack handle edge case packets. The result, Linux 2.4.x, specifically in the 2.4.9 to 2.4.18 range. The kernel is from the early 2000s. It predates every modern memory protection mitigation. No stack canaries, no ASLR, no depth. Any service running on this kernel can be exploited via technique that modern systems will block automatically. The scan also confirms 6 open ports and a network distance of 1 hop, meaning we are directly adjacent to the target on the local network. The second required scan is NMAP that lowercase v, which is a service and version detection. The full output is on the right. Every single one of those version number is from the early 2000s. Every single one has no public CVEs. This is the moment The hypothesis phase begins. We now have specific version strings we can look up. Notice Apache on both port 80 and 443 with mood SSL and open SSL 0.9.6b. That combination is associated with one of the most well-known pre-authentication remote code execution vulnerabilities in the history of web server software. The third required scan is NMAP -P -A, which is the most comprehensive of the three. The -P flag scan all 65,535 TCP ports. The A flag stack OS detection, version detection, default, and SE script, and trace route into a single pass. The finding on the left deserves attention. SSH version 1 being active means that SSH version 1 protocol, which has documented cryptographic weakness, is still available. HTTP trace being enabled on port 80 is cross-site tracking risk. The SSL certificate expired in 2010, making it a 15-year-old expired self-signed certificate. And the NB staff script confirmed the machine host name as Kioptrix. The screenshot on the right shows the actual terminal output in two parts. The scan took 63 seconds because of the full port coverage. This is the scan that makes sure nothing is hiding on a non-standard port. The first additional scan is the UDP top 100. We use NMAP dash lowercase s uppercase u dash that top ports 100. This command surfaces service that every TCP on a scan complete misses. The output on the right is a clean and easy to read. 3 UDP ports came back open. RPC band on 111, NetBoys name service on 137, and a service on 32768. The scan took 61 seconds, typical for UDP, because open ports often do not respond at all, forcing NMAP to time out before marking them. The RPC ban on UDP means an attacker can query the port mapper externally and enumerate every RPC service registered on the machine. The NetBIOS service on 137 allows workgroup and hostname query, which is how we later confirm Kioptrix as the machine name. Without the UDP sweep, those three servers would have been completely invisible. My second additional scan is the NSE vulnerability script scan. And it's nmap -- script vulnerability. This is the most impactful single command in the lab because it does not just tell us what is running. It tells us what is exploitable with direct confirmation. The full confirmed findings on the left: CCS interjection, CVE 2014-0224 allows a man-in-the-middle attack to force a zero-length master key enabling section decryption. Logjam CVE 2015-4000. The server accepts 512-bit export grade DeFi Hellman parameters. Poodle CVE 2014-3566 SSL version 3 CBC padding is vulnerable to decryption oracle attack. And SMB vulnerable CVE 2009-3103 and SMB version 2 negotiation vulnerability flag for the Samba services. The right side shows the actual NSE output. The scan also found trace enable directory listing at icons and manuals and weak 1024 bits. Defy Hellman group, all from a single scan command. My third additional scan is NMAP-A. It's more aggressive without a full port flags. This scans the top 1,000 ports rather than all 65,535 ports, cutting the time from 63 to 35 seconds, but running the same aggressive detection. The comparison at the bottom summarizes when to use each scan. NMAP-A for fast practical assessment, NMAP-P-A when you need complete coverage and cannot risk missing a service on a non-standard port. The flaw hypothesis methodology is the analytical framework that connects raw scan data to actionable exploitation path. The four phases at the top gather evidence, form hypotheses, confirm them, and then exploit them. The table implies this directly to the Kioptrix. Each of these hypotheses move directly into exploitation phase in part 2. The final slide brings everything together. The vulnerability map organizes the full attack surface by port, service, CVE, and severity. The two rare critical cards, Apache with more SSL and Simba's SMBD, represent independent on an unauthenticated path to root access. You do not need to chain them. Either one alone is sufficient to fully compromise the system. The three orange findings represent confirmed cryptographic weakness in Open SSL and RPC fault mastering vulnerability in RPC.StatD. And all of these are layers on top of the two critical findings. The bottom script captures the most important conclusion. Every finding here had a public patch available within months of disclosure. A formal patch management process applies public patches within months of disclosure who have closed every single finding on this map. That is the core lesson of this lab. Thank you.